Hey, you guys. So we're going to take a look and ask the question, how your person of interest is feeling about you at this time. What they're thinking, how they're feeling about you at this time. Let's go in. Okay, so a lot of fantasizing, a lot of daydreaming, really good emotional understandings with you, what they could have with you, if it's possible. Yeah. It could be that, like that you see here in this card, there's a river that needs to be crossed to get into that light. So it could be that they feel like maybe there's certain obstacles that they need to get through to have it in reality. So right now they're just in this dreaming understanding, wishing, hoping, desiring. Let's see what else comes up here. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of like strong desires, strong intimate understanding that they're having. So, I mean, these daydreams could be a little bit X-rated. It's kind of what I'm picking up here. Yeah, they're definitely they feel strongly this tie to you. It could be that they're in a work environment and all of a sudden this rush of desire and rush of everything that they want with you hits them. I don't get that it's something that they have control over. It really, really looks like they're strongly, strongly wanting so much with you and they can't keep it at bay, which really is, I'm picking up on maybe they haven't had a lot of connection with you in a physical sense. There could have been communication, but they haven't had any of that physical understanding with you yet. And to be honest, what comes up here is once that happens, it feels like it's only going to get stronger and stronger. So like, yeah, they really are just fantasizing about so much with you. And again, it's not just held at one time or when they're in bed at night. This feels like something that is like making it hard for them to work and hard for them to get through everything that they need to in their environment. Hard to focus, a lot of trouble focusing because they're just feeling this connection so intensely. Okay, so in some ways they feel like there is a lot of ways in which you guys are different. They feel like your energy could be very feisty or fiery. Okay, and that shows up as something that attracts them too. But they do wonder if, in some sense, that could mean that this connection won't last, or whether, the ways in which, because to some extent they may feel like there are certain things about them that maybe, I don't really get that you dislike about them. It's more of that, you call them out on their stuff. You're not going to just let them, you're not going to just let them sit in an egoic energy that is imbalanced or of a low vibration. And let that stand. They feel like you call them out. And so that's hard for them. They don't like they find it hard to be called out. They feel kind of some sense of embarrassment. So that energy is here. But that's sometimes necessary for someone to grow. So it doesn't, even though for them it feels there's this inner conflict, because it does feel like an inner conflict where they feel like, their ego energy is like, well, I don't necessarily like the feeling of either being wrong or either being called out on my stuff when I'm standing in an energy that's not emotionally balanced. They worry about whether or not this could be something that gets in the way of you guys having a long-term understanding. I mean, it does feel like they want that, but it just shows up as they fear that because there are ways in which you may feel that they lack, and it isn't. I don't really get that you feel like they lack something. It's just that you know that they can stand in better, or you're just not going to accept them standing in a lower understanding of energy. So you're telling them, like, you're just being blunt. And so that kind of like intimidates them and scares them a little bit. Okay. So yeah, like this, with this return or second chance energy, this is what it feels like. It feels like there's fear of the fact that, maybe there are energies that they stood in or conversations that you've had where you called them out and they feel fearful that, this is kind of an energy that's going to make you move away from them, and they're wanting to make sure that they still have an opportunity with you, or that there's still a chance of growth, with you, because they're not wanting to lose you over imbalanced understandings. So I do get a sense of, again, like these energies that they're standing in, they do want to step into a better understanding, so you take them seriously because they are afraid of like you moving away from them. Yeah, they don't want you to see them as shallow. They don't want you to see them as unworthy. They don't want you to see them as not enough. Okay, so it really just shows up as there's a lot of desire that they have for you. There's a lot of a lot that they could see themselves coming up with you. There's a lot that they could see themselves having with you. However, they feel like you might think that possibly because of certain conversations that you've had with them, that they are not deep enough. They're not emotionally intelligent enough, and they fear that you'll see them as something that's boring or something that you should move away from. And this could have been one conversation in particular that they're hoping that you will give them a chance to continue to prove themselves or make right, to show you that, hey, they are worth it. Yeah. Yeah. And again, like there seems to be more water here. So there could be, if this is a particular conversation that you've had with this person, they could be fearing that this is something that stands in the way of having what they want with you. You know, if it is a particular conversation, or it is certain emotional understandings that they need to let go of, certain outdated ways of being that they need to release, they could be afraid of this standing in the way of what they want with you. So yeah, like they really, really hope that you don't think in a definitive way that they are not worthy of you. But yeah, like they really are feeling like maybe there is a particular situation that they want you to give them another chance on, or they want you to make right with you. Yeah. Yeah, they really want you to prove, in a sense, that they're worthy, that they can be molded toward better. That's the understanding here. Oh man, all these cards are flying out. None of them want to come out. Let's see which ones do. Yeah, okay. So it's coming up heavily. There could be a specific situation. There could have been some argument where you may have kind of like put them in their place, told them what it was, and you know, maybe in some sense they stood in ego, and because they were, you know, didn't want to seem wrong, or didn't like the feeling of you know, feeling that they were in the wrong, and now they're really stressed about the fact that maybe you won't give them another chance, or maybe you see them as less than, maybe you see them as vapid, not enough. So they really, really, really are hoping that to prove to you that they can grow, that they can step into better energy, and wanting another chance. And while they're trying to balance through this energy, wanting to make things right, whatever the conflict was, they are heavily fantasizing about you, heavily daydreaming about you, and stress pertaining to whatever this conversation was that they feel possibly makes you think less of them. They really, really want to make this right, and worried. Some of the stress could be like, man, you probably have a lot of options, and you aren't necessarily thinking about them, worried about them. Let's see. Anything else? Okay, yeah, they're uncertain. They're worried. They are not sure if you're going to give them an opportunity to come in and make things right. They're not sure. It could be that they feel like you're out on social media looking good and you're just like enjoying life while they're sitting in this, you know, befuddled, stressed out energy. And they're just like, man, are they better off without me? Do they want anything to do with me? Can I come forward? Can I show them that I can be better, that I can, you know, take constructive criticism and apply it and show up in a better energy? Yeah, they're really wanting to know, can I have another chance? They're confused though, because again, like they don't know if some of this confusion is their insecurity, that maybe, you know, they aren't enough. They probably, because the energy shows up as they are still dealing with their own insecurities pertaining to whether how somebody so great could want them, and this conflict could be throwing them off. This one understanding of you basically calling them out could be throwing them off. Yeah. They're really, really, yeah. So in this mix, I'm really getting an understanding of they are worried that they may really be seeing you out there looking good on social media, or spending time with friends, spending time with people, and just in what they consider to be a happy energy, and not thinking about them. You just, you know, like a completely unbothered, completely not worried about them, and they're wondering how they can step their way back in if that's the case, you know. And it really, really bothers them that, you know, possibly you don't want anything to do with them, when all they do is fantasize about you all day. All they do is sit with this desire for you. All they do, and they just keep thinking about, oh, I really messed this up. I really, you know, possibly stood in my ego, and I really just, you know, fumbled things with this person. And I want them back. I want them back so badly. I want them back. Let's see. Yeah, there's a lot of desirous or lust-filled energy that comes up here. And again, like they're thinking about this understanding. With this word forbidden, they're thinking about this understanding at times when they shouldn't be, or they feel like it's not acceptable, but they cannot control it. And again, I don't get that they show up as really, really worried that you may not want to commit to them or have anything real with them because of whatever this conflict was that makes them feel, that maybe now you don't see them as somebody you should take serious. Yeah, but they are sitting with so much desire for you. And again, it's showing up. They cannot control how much they want you. It's really, really stressing them out. But it really is just a powerful understanding of how strong this connection is. It really, really is just a powerful understanding of how strong the connection is. I'm going to ask and see what comes up about whether or not you're going to put this person out of their misery, give them another chance, and see what comes up here. We're going to give them another chance, put them out of the misery. Okay, so it looks like it's not one-sided. You may be on social media showcasing certain understandings about being in a good energy or like being good without them. Or I don't really get that you're thinking them, but they may be seeing it as that. And it shows up as like it's not, you're thinking about them too. It doesn't show up, it shows up as you are not just having this understanding where you're not thinking about them or you don't desire them. So like it does show up as your energy does desire to connect with them. However, you do feel like there's certain things that they need to make right. And yeah, it does show up as there's room to move past this toward emotionally calmer understandings with them. Yeah, I don't get a sense of, and these cards are pretty much almost in consecutive order. It's the 4, 4, 5, and 6. So yeah, like it just shows up as there's an understanding of this will come together, or you guys will be able to move towards smoother waters, better understandings. It doesn't show up as being over. You're both thinking about each other, and it shows up as, if they're willing to step forward and take responsibility or take accountability for their actions, then you are open to giving it another chance. You're not wanting to hold on to like this energy of who they were in that moment forever. It just shows up as you want them to take accountability. And I do get a sense that they are wanting to, they're wanting to return. They want to make this right. So yeah, like that is the energy here. I'm going to ask, is there anything else? Yeah, like they may have needed a little bit of time and space. For some of you, this conversation could have happened a little bit ago. It might not have been immediately, or like this might not have been something that's happened just a short time ago. And this person has spent some time to themselves and stood into learning certain emotional, mental lessons, stood into growing into better emotional understandings. And they are going to return. They are finally feeling in a sense of like, I can show that I'm at a better understanding of energy, and they are coming towards you to communicate. And they really, really feel ready for that. Again, I do get some sense of like the fact that they don't necessarily feel like you are. Again, I do get some sense of like hesitation because they feel like maybe, you do think less of them, but it looks like they're going to try to overcome that energy. There's so much energy here that says they want to communicate, they want to come towards you. For some of you, it feels like it could be speaking about travel towards you because there's a lot of water coming up here. In these cards and the other ones, it could be speaking about travel as well towards you. So it could be that understanding as well. Yeah, maybe it was the understanding of you feeling like they always expected you to come towards them, and you were asking them, hey, like, what about me? What about you coming towards me? What about you traveling, taking that action towards me? It's more the understanding of wanting it to be equal. Like you may have felt like you were putting out more energy than they were, and you called them out on it, they got upset. So whatever the case may be, I do get an understanding of them wanting to prove to you that they heard you. They've taken time and sat with themselves, and they are coming towards you, whether it's to communicate or actually travel towards you. It just shows up as they are going to come towards you, prove themselves to you, and it shows up as you're willing to give them a chance if they are willing to be the one that leads moving this forward. Because I don't get a sense that you feel like it's your place to lead this forward. And I don't get the spirit of saying that it is either. Yeah. So it does look like things have a strong possibility of coming together. It just shows up as like you really want to see that change or growth. Like you're not going to sit in any understanding of accepting them in your environment if they are not willing to prove to you that they deserve that chance with you. But that's all I'm getting at this time. I hope this message resonates, and if it doesn't, I hope you find what does.